Steven Wright. I've had the pleasure of an Invisalign treatment that finished probably just before the first lockdown in March, so I managed to get all of my treatment done in time. Took about 18 months, which was a little longer than we first planned, but that was probably because I was being a bit particular about where and when the process should finish. I've only got good things to say about the whole process that probably goes back 8 or 10 years when I first inquired about what Invisalign was and what it meant. And for a number of reasons, went along, had an initial assessment, and then about 2 years ago, revisited the process. I spent a lot of time traveling in my car, up and down the motorway, visiting customers, going to the factory that we have. And I found myself continually looking at my teeth, fiddling with my teeth, pushing them with my fingers, because whilst there's nothing wrong with my teeth physically, they didn't look right. They didn't feel right. And more importantly, I was reaching the point as I was getting a little bit older that I continually was nicking the inside of my mouth, both at the top and bottom. And I'm no expert, but as I'm told, as my mouth, my gums were actually getting smaller or shrinking, my teeth were getting closer together and forcing out the teeth that were in the wrong place, that were continually nicking and pinching my gums. Similarly, because I was spending a lot of time in the car with not a lot to do, I continually found myself looking in the mirror, which not vain, but looking at my teeth and how over time they were getting worse rather than better. And so thought best that we revisit the first meeting that I'd had some years previously, wishing that I'd done it earlier rather than waiting until later. There were a couple of other issues that it suited me more this time. My work role had changed, children have gone, so I thought I'd have more money, but you wait until you're a bit older. Your children cost you as much money as they do when they're older, as they do when they're younger. But I had the time and I had the resources to do it, and for some little while I'd been wanting to do it.
So your delay then was really circumstantial, and
yes, it was nothing to do with being frightened of the process, not understanding the process. I did and do know a couple of other people who'd had the Invisalign process, not up here, but elsewhere. They had nothing but good things to say about it. So in hindsight, it was probably something that, not that I was always going to do, but it was highly likely that I was going to do once I'd made the first visit, once I'd overcome the first hurdle to come and talk to you about what it meant and how much it was and how long it would be. Perhaps the number of visits that I had to make were actually far fewer than I thought. Yeah. Now, whether that was because my teeth worked in a particular way, or whether Andy and Invisalign had structured my treatment in such a way that it worked well first time almost every new set of aligners, I don't know. But it was much less time consuming than I thought from a visit point of view. Other than that, there was no issue with making appointments. There was no issue with time lags. All of the new aligners came when they were supposed to. They, again, as was explained to me, they were always tight for the first couple of days, and then not very quickly, but reasonably quickly, they would slacken off, that would suggest it was time for the next set. I would struggle to find an incident where somebody else knew that I had aligners in.
So you didn't have any...
I was very, very surprised how few people knew or were aware. There were some people that I mentioned it to and I didn't realise, and take them out and put them back in, and there was really very little noticeable difference. The one caveat would be, because I like eating and I like eating out, it's important to be disciplined, thinking ahead about where you might be going and what you might be eating, to make sure that if you are going to eat, you've got some provision for taking them out without waiting until your main course arrives and you suddenly try and take them out at the table. So that needs a little bit of thinking about. If you follow the routine and the ritual properly, it's very difficult not to lose weight. Because having the aligners in and undertaking the process properly prevents you from snacking.
That's right.
You walk by the cupboard and there's a biscuit there looking at you saying, eat me. Fine, but you then got to take them out, eat the biscuit, go and clean your teeth, put them back in, and the biscuit becomes not worthy of the time, the effort, and the energy.